Jason, can you tell us what your own background is in football?
Yeah, obviously I played when I was younger, and played with a couple of different clubs around Dublin, and then got into coaching quite a young age. I was 16 when I got into coaching. When I finished my leaving cert, did the full-time FOSS course, which was a coaching course. So got into it at a fairly young age.
And what stage did you become involved in the women's side of the game?
I've always coached the boys and girls teams across. I've been coaching now for 35 years now, so I've always been coaching boys and girls teams, or men's and women's teams, depending on availability and time and opportunity, really.
So in one sense, people like yourself would be pioneers as regards the women's game in this country, because when you got your coaching qualifications at 16, there wouldn't have been very many women's teams or whatever.
There was a lot of teams around Dublin and stuff like that, some fairly famous teams that existed at that stage, but obviously since then the game has grown so much over the last period of time. So yeah, it's fantastic to see all the teams emerging now, at schoolgirl level and at senior level as well, with the introduction of the National League.
And was there anything in particular that enticed you to become involved in the women's side of it rather than the men's side?
No, as I said, I've been involved with both sides really, so it just comes down to opportunity really. If an opportunity presented itself to coach, I would have taken that opportunity. So, for example, I coached the Irish schools team, which was the girls team at under 15, about 12 years ago. So that was a good experience to work with players at a national level. So yeah, I suppose, look, as I said, it's been down to opportunities and availability and stuff over the years.
So you were head of football at Peamount United before you joined Shamrock Rovers. Did you see your joining the Hoops as a new challenge or the beginning of a new journey for you?
Absolutely, yeah. I'd taken a small break when I finished with Peamount, and I had done some opposition analysis work with Wexford. And then the opportunity came around to speak to Shane, and we had some great conversations about how we could develop the women's section at Rovers. Obviously the 17s and 19s had existed already, but it was a good opportunity for us to sit down and map out how we could get that senior team on the pitch and develop other structures around that, So yeah, it was a brilliant opportunity, great timing for me personally. I just finished writing a Leaving Cert PE book, so I was dying to get back involved in the game in some way, shape or form.
So our own women's senior team here, Shamrock Rovers, are well up and running now. Are you planning to strengthen the squad any further this year?
We worked fairly hard on building the squad we have now. It was probably a 6-month process of identifying players that we felt could come in and play the brand of football that we wanted to play, and we wanted to ensure future success as well. So we identified some younger players, young international players, who we felt it was a great opportunity for them to come into the club and develop as players. So
you mentioned there the young players that you have brought in, but of course we've had some of our own. Would you agree that having 4 of last season's under 19s move up to the senior squad is a good indicator of what we can expect in the future?
Yeah, the four young players that are in the first team have been doing fantastically well, and it's definitely a sign of where we want to go in the future in terms of player development. And we've 3 players in the Ireland under 17 team. We've 8 or 9 players involved in the Ireland under 19 team. We've got 6 players involved in the under 16 team. So again, it's just about creating that opportunity for players to come in, play their football in fantastic facilities, get great coaching, and hopefully they can develop into professional players in the future.
And Maria Reynolds, it's probably fair to say, is a big character in the dressing room. Have you got any update on Maria's injury?
Yeah, she's been doing fantastically well of late. She's, her rehab is coming on really well. So, yeah, we anticipate her being back on the pitch in a couple of weeks. She did some light work on the pitch last week, which was a big step for her. But yeah, we anticipate her coming back into full training over the next few weeks.
And when would you see her back training or playing, would you say?
Oh, look, she's, obviously she's got to do some pitch work now to get up to match fitness. So that's going to take. She's been out for quite some time. So we want to make sure that when she returns, that it's a successful return for her. Like, so we'll take her time in that rehab and make sure that she's 100% before she plays again.
Yeah, nobody will rush into anything. Although the weather was bad, what are your thoughts on the attendance at last Saturday's game against Treaty United?
It was a brilliant occasion. Very much enjoyed the occasion. As I said, it had been at the end of like 9 months of planning, so I think we are going to enjoy the occasion regardless of the crowd. We were the highest crowd last weekend, so that was nice to have. That was 2 weekends in a row. We had the highest crowd in Sligo the previous week. And again, it's like everything else, the brand of the women's team is emerging. The media team have done a fabulous job in promoting the women's team so far. And we do think there's, both existing supporters who were there last weekend of the men's team there supporting us. And we do think we can attract, a new type of fan to watch the brand of football that we have. And that we're going to play over the next period of time. And in addition to the new type of fan, you'd obviously be hoping that a lot more of the regular fans will be coming along, especially during the summertime. Yeah, it'd be brilliant. Look, my hope for it is that, if the men's team are playing away on a particular weekend, that people can still come in and we're playing at home. It'd be fantastic for them to come to the stadium to see our team on a Saturday evening. So it's, look, if we can tap into that supporters base, which we know is massive for the men's team, that would be fantastic. It'd be a great bonus for the girls, having that atmosphere in the stadium and playing in front of so many people. Yeah, and I know I spoke to yourself and Collie O'Neill here last Sunday, just the day after the match against Treaty, and I think the fact that there was such a good crowd that both of you were really very happy about that. What was the reaction of the players to that? It was brilliant. After the game, I think they went over, they signed all their autographs, and the kids got all their selfies, and there was a great atmosphere in the stadium on the night, and I think probably one of the biggest things for me, watching the game, was hearing little kids chanting Rovers, 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 and you could hear those young voices in the crowd. And for me, you're just thinking, I think we've attracted those new fans in, that they can become a part of the Rovers family going forward. So Jack Byrne and Pico Lopez and that sort of company might have a bit of competition then in future, will they? Oh, look, the lads have been fantastic. Everybody involved in the men's section and even all the other academy teams have been a fantastic support to myself and to Collie and to the team, offering encouragement and help wherever they can. So yeah, look, to have, for us to have that side of the club to aspire to really is, it's great for our young players that they have, their success already exists within the club, and professional footballers are already here, so again they can look up to them and how they live their lives and how to become the best professional footballer they can be. Now, last week the two sporting bodies in this country, the FAI and the IFA, announced an exciting development in the women's game. What are your thoughts on the new All-Ireland competition due to be played during the summer? I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great piece of collaboration from both organisations. We played all of our pre-season friendlies up in the north against northern teams, and the standard is quite high. They're at a similar stage to the Women's National League in terms of they're going semi-professional this year as well. So yeah, I think the two sides are evenly matched in terms of the teams that they produce. So I think it's a fantastic collaboration. Any competition that helps our players become better and extends the competitive season for them it can only be a good thing. And academy-wise, are there any plans to expand the women's girls side of the structure here at Rovers? We've already done that briefly this year with the introduction of our development academy, where we've invited players in from our partners and affiliates, and they come in once a week. So they're 2010 age group, so they come in once a week, and we've had a couple of stints of that already. So the plan really is, going forward, obviously to collaborate with the affiliates and the partners, and find out how best we can expand the current programme. But yeah, we have to have a section now that produces our own players really in collaboration with other people, like, you know, because we lost a number of our under-17 team this year. So, you know, being able to replace them with our own players who are already here would be a massive advantage to us. So yeah, I do think there's a great opportunity there for us to grow the girls and women's section in the club.
What would you say to any young girl out there who's not playing football at the moment and is thinking about it? What would you say?
Just go and play. Just go and play. Go and enjoy. Go and enjoy and play with your friends, regardless of the level that you play at. You know, to be active. You know, to meet new friends. You know, even the UEFA Disney Play program is another great initiative from UEFA and the FAI, getting younger girls into play football. But you know, it's. Look, if there's opportunity for you to play in the primary school five-a-side competition or play in your secondary school competition, just go out and play and give it a try. You never know, you know, do you develop that love for the game? I think now young girls have you know, real valid role models to look up to, which is really important for us here. So the likes of Anya O'Gorman, Stephanie Roach, you know, Jess Gargan, players like that, like and other players around the Women's National League. I think young girls can look up to them and aspire to have fantastic careers like they've had so far.